Randy, thank you for taking the time to speak with me. We were connected because of a wonderful show with Ms. Taylor that we can talk about. But your career with World of Wonder is not the beginning of your career by any stretch. You know, you go back a long way with producing great quality television and film projects. And I see you as one of the leaders in reality oriented television. When did you notice the tide was turning where reality wasn't just a niche, but it was the mainstream and a long term thing?
That's a really good question. I mean, at World of Wonder, we really started as documentary producers. And we have always been interested. For us, it's always the story's the thing. The story is the most important thing. And I think really when cable started exploding at the end of the last century, and there was an appetite for more content, I think people started taking non-scripted television more seriously. And, so we started seeing reality exploding and people, broadcasters and network executives more open to all different types of non-scripted, different types of stories, different types of people. And, fortunately that's continued.
It's interesting to see how World of Wonder has grown. And it's like every year seems to be bigger than the previous year. And by that, I mean, towards the end of last year, I was in Vegas with my wife and we were walking the strip and here we are in the Flamingo and, oh, Wayne Newton's playing here. Oh, he's playing in the smaller room than RuPaul's Drag Races. Okay, that's interesting that Mr. Las Vegas is taking a backseat to RuPaul's Drag Race. But I was on a junket a couple of months ago for The Bitch Who Stole Christmas. You're now, the movies are happening with Ginger and all that. So am I wrong? Is every year bigger?
Well, we love Wayne Newton, by the way, but you do have to keep up with the times. And, I think that World of Wonder has traditionally had a reputation as being sort of marginal or fringe, but I think the world is sort of moving in our direction, or people are more open. And so that's, I think that's been great for us as a production company, but more importantly, I think that's been great. It's been great for audiences because I think they've been underserved for so long. And I think there've been these sort of media gatekeepers who think they know better and think they need to protect the mainstream audiences. The reality is that people know what it's like to feel like an outsider. People know what it's like to feel marginalized. I mean, we all feel that way, basically. So what has traditionally been perceived as marginal, I think people are starting to realize is a lot more mainstream than they ever thought. Sorry, that was a really long answer.
That was an appropriate answer. And it, if I can keep piling these compliments on, it seems like World of Wonder is ahead in the industry and also in terms of merchandising, that it's not far off from going, we got a hit show, let's turn it into swag. Is that all done in-house? Do you have somebody who's shopping those opportunities?
Yeah, we have an amazing team at World of Wonder, and we do some merchandising, but that's really us like all talking about things we'd want for ourselves. It's really as much as it's us pursuing business opportunities, it's also us pursuing our own selfish desires of having cool swag.
Cool swag that other people pay for and make, and then you can send out as holiday gifts, and everyone goes, "Oh, they're so generous."
Yes. It's a little of that. Did you get our holiday gift this year?
Well, next year, I hope this coverage.
Okay, we'll make sure to put you on the list. This year we did these really cool. We had a series on HBO called Small Town News, which you have to check out. It's really wild. It's about a local news station in Pahrump, Nevada. And we did really cool swag tied in with small town news. Anyway.
Nevada keeps bringing up the points in this conversation. What can you do? So the Gige, like, how did you find her? Because when I spoke with her, it sounded like 10 years in the making that show was.
Yeah, like so many productions at World of Wonder, they usually start with a no. You know, I don't think we've ever taken a pitch out that someone said, "Oh my God, we want that show."
Right.
People's response is usually, "Oh, that's wild. We really like it. So much fun, but not right for us." That's the standard response to anything that we take out and pitch. And that was the response for Gige over like almost 10 years ago. We actually did get someone to pick it up. And we made a presentation like maybe 8 years ago, and then they didn't pick up the series. So we're very fortunate that Lifetime embraced the show and picked it up. And yeah, I forget what the question was, but yes, it's been a long time in the making.
Well, seeing Gige for the first time on camera, I just immediately saw the charisma. I'm guessing that, yes, the story and the fact that she's taking a unique look into autism and how people can have normal lives with family members who have autism around them 24/7. But I'd have to imagine that charisma is one of the reasons that you were drawn to her immediately.
Yeah, I mean, Gige is she's a star. She's just, you want to be with her. She's got this incredible magnetism and charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. She has it all. And so, but then on top of that, she's surrounded by this extraordinary family.
Mm-hmm.
She has this really inspiring philosophy of how to live life. And so she really is the TP, the total package. And so is, you know, is her family, her real family, and her sort of the family that she's created.
Well, from TP to EP, executive producers who I'm speaking with, I'd have to imagine, and tell me if I'm way off base here, the hardest part of producing her show is that there's too much great material and it's a struggle of going, what do we cut?
Yeah, I would say the hardest part about producing this show is what to cut. Like there's 2 or 3 other series on the edit room floor. Like you could just roll camera and it's all pretty magical, funny, smart, probably, but above all, heartwarming. I mean, you know, it's like so many of our other shows. I mean, I could compare this in many ways to RuPaul's Drag Race in that it's super funny, super smart, but full of heart. And, you know, also focuses on some people who haven't had an enormous amount of exposure on television.
I'm going to make you do math right here.
Oh no, I'm really bad.
Now, assuming you're not under deadline.com embargoes, how many shows are you able to simultaneously executive produce? Because look at IMDb, it looks like there's 4 or 5 going on for you right now actively.
Okay. And let me tell you something, because like the reason I am able, like we have so many talented people who work at World of Wonder, and I'm really fortunate. Like I don't, there are people much more talented than I am who actually do all the heavy lifting.
Your words, not mine.
Yeah, I mean, no, seriously though, we are really fortunate. And also we are an anomaly in Hollywood in that we are independent. We're an independently owned production company.
Mm-hmm.
We have a slew of executive producers and directors who we've worked with for many, many years, who've grown up at World of Wonder. Mm-hmm. So I'm just a part of something much bigger.
And around how many shows are there on the slate right now? And I ask that because most production companies seem it's like 1 or 2 is all they can really handle at a time.
We have about 4 or 5. We have about 4 or 5 shows running right now, and we usually have at least 1 or 2 single docs that we're trying to do, that often we independently produce. We just finished one that's on Paramount Plus called Explant, which is about breast implant illness, which is executive produced with Michelle Visage from RuPaul's Drag Race. But yeah, we try and have a few balls in the air. I mean, we're so used to people saying no to everything, that we put so much stuff out there. Like, our production company is run like it's like a starving kitty mentality. You know,
Mhm.
the cats, the little kitties that you find on the street, and they can't find a meal to eat. And
You say that, I say Island of Misfit Toys.
okay, there
Yeah.
you go. Same.
Well, some of these great properties that you've developed have had UK counterpart shows, Canada counterpart shows. So it's cool to see that you've also been able to franchise in a way. I remember there was a boom 10, 15 years ago with all these classic American sitcoms going to Russia. Like, you'd see The Nanny Russia, Married with Children Russia. Is that another part of the business that World of Wonder is expanding upon?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the world, as the world is more connected, it seems more manageable and smaller in some ways.
Mhm.
And Fenton Bailey, the co-founder of World of Wonder, is British, so we've had a long tradition with the UK. In fact, our first few series were out of the UK, so we have an office there, and increasingly we're doing more stuff all over the world, and it's great. I mean, it's a great way um, to discover like-minded
Mhm.
people, whether they're other production companies in different countries or other networks. You know, we've discovered that there's a lot of people who think like us and have similar sensibilities.
Okay, so winding down here, a couple of questions about our friend Gige, and then you're a free man to get around with your 80,000 projects. And the first one is, do you think we might see her on any other World of Wonder programming? Like, growing up, you'd see like the Full House cast would magically knock on the door of the Family Matters family, even though they live in different cities, kind of like that.
I certainly hope so. I mean, her talents are pretty endless, and she belongs in front of a camera,
Mhm.
and not just as a single mom who's juggling a bunch of stuff in real life. So yeah, I could imagine seeing her. Yeah,
Judging an episode of Drag Race.
maybe, or as a drag queen on the runway.
uh, Most people have to like turn themselves up when the cameras go on. I get the vibe that Gige is that. She's always that charming and that energetic. Is there a mellow version of Gige that we would ever see?
I think my experience and is what you see is what you get. That's what makes her a star. And so yeah, with Gige, what you see is what you get. And we can't get enough of it.
And then the last question for Gige and the last question for you is, with all that great cutting room floor footage, is there any place that we'd actually ever see that, like DVD extras, documentary B-roll, or do we just have to hold on, hope that the season two, etc.?
Well, I would first hope that there's a season 2, season 3, season 4. You know, it's been a long road to get this on the air, and it's had an unusual history since it's been on the air, because it started linear and now it's digital.
Yeah.
We are screen agnostic. We don't care what screen it's on, as long as there's a way for people to watch it. And the more people who discover it, the longer the legs are. So somehow, somewhere, it will continue. And that cutting room floor stuff, I don't know. You've planted some seeds, so I'll get back to you on that.
whatever it is, congratulations on your many years of success. Glad to see you're still pushing the ball forward creatively and professionally, and really looking forward to what's to come from you and Team Randy.
Thank you. You're so generous. This is a nice conversation. Thank you for being so generous and nice.
Should I have hit you harder with like?
No. End it now.
Paltrocast.